I have more respect for a man who lets me know where he stands, even if he's wrong.
We always say in the Black Panther Party that they can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary.
Juror nullification. Empowering the individual in the justice system. The United States justice system is based on the idea of a jury of peers, where a group of people comes together to decide the guilt or innocence of a defendant. However, what happens when a juror believes that the law itself is unjust? That's where the idea of jury nullification comes in. Jury nullification is a concept that has been around since the colonial era, but it is still not widely known or understood. It empowers jurors with the right to vote not just on the facts of a case but on the fairness of the law itself. It allows them to send a message to the government that a law is unjust or immoral and should not be enforced. In this lesson, we'll delve deeper into the concept of jury nullification, its history, and how it can empower the individual in the justice system. Introduction to jury nullification and its significance in the justice system. Jury nullification, a concept rooted in the principles of democracy and individual empowerment, holds a significant position in the modern justice system. While the idea may appear unfamiliar to some, it represents a powerful tool that empowers jurors to deliver verdicts based not only on the facts of a case but also on their conscience and personal beliefs. At its core, jury nullification refers to the ability of a jury to acquit a defendant, even if they are proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, if they believe that the law itself is unjust or unjustly applied. This concept challenges the notion that jurors are mere passive implementers of the law and emphasizes their role as active participants in the administration of justice. The significance of jury nullification lies in its ability to safeguard individual rights and liberties. It serves as a check on the potential abuse of power by the judicial system, enabling jurors to act as protectors of justice and fairness. Through jury nullification, ordinary citizens have the power to challenge oppressive laws, unfair prosecutions, and instances where the application of the law does not align with their values or the principles of justice. Historically, jury nullification has played a pivotal role in shaping societal norms and challenging unjust laws. It has been utilized to challenge laws related to prohibition, civil rights, and free speech, to name just a few examples. By exercising their right to nullify, jurors can send a powerful message to lawmakers and the legal system, urging them to reevaluate the fairness and validity of certain laws. However, it is important to note that jury nullification is not without controversy. Critics argue that it undermines the rule of law and can lead to inconsistent and arbitrary verdicts. Others believe that it is the duty of jurors to apply the law as it is written, regardless of their personal beliefs. In this blog post, we will explore the concept of jury nullification in greater detail, examining its historical context, legal implications, and the potential impact it can have on the justice system. By delving into this topic, we hope to shed light on the power of the individual within the justice system and spark meaningful discussions about the role of jurors in upholding justice and promoting societal change. Understanding the role of a juror and their power to nullify unjust laws. The role of a juror in the justice system is often misunderstood or overlooked. Beyond the common perception of jurors as passive observers, they actually possess a significant power that can shape the outcome of a trial and the course of justice. The power of nullification. Juror nullification refers to the ability of a juror to disregard the letter of the law and choose not to convict a defendant, even if they believe the defendant is technically guilty. This power resides in the hands of ordinary citizens serving on a jury, allowing them to act as a check on the potential abuses of the legal system. The concept of jury nullification is rooted in the belief that laws are not infallible, and that justice should be guided by the principles of fairness and equity. Jurors have the unique perspective of representing the community's values and can exercise their discretion to ensure that justice is served in a way that aligns with their moral compass. This power to nullify unjust laws can have a profound impact on the criminal justice system. It offers a safeguard against the enforcement of laws that may be oppressive, discriminatory, or out of touch with societal values. By recognizing the importance of their role, jurors have the potential to challenge the status quo, rectify systemic injustices, and promote a more equitable legal system. However, it is crucial to note that juror nullification is not without controversy. Critics argue that it undermines the rule of law and can lead to inconsistent outcomes. They claim that jurors should strictly adhere to the law as instructed by the judge, regardless of their personal beliefs or potential injustices. Despite the debate surrounding juror nullification, understanding its significance empowers individuals to make informed decisions when serving on a jury. It encourages critical thinking, empathy, and a broader understanding of the role of citizens in shaping the justice system. As citizens, it is important to educate ourselves about our rights and responsibilities as jurors. By recognizing the power of nullification, we can contribute to a more just and equitable society, where individual conscience and the pursuit of justice are valued components of the legal system. Historical examples of juror nullification and its impact on the justice system throughout history. There have been numerous instances where juror nullification has played a significant role in shaping the course of justice. One noteworthy example dates back to the 1850s during the era of slavery in the United States. In several trials involving individuals charged with violating the Fugitive Slave Act, jurors, often sympathetic to the abolitionist cause, refused to convict the defendants despite clear evidence of their guilt. This act of juror nullification served as a powerful form of protest against an unjust law that upheld the institution of slavery. It demonstrated the capacity of jurors to act as a check on the government's enforcement of oppressive legislation, effectively empowering individuals to exercise their moral judgment and challenge the status quo. Another prominent case highlighting the impact of juror nullification occurred during the Prohibition era in the United States. The Volstead Act, which enforced the nationwide ban on alcohol, faced significant public resistance, with many viewing it as an infringement on personal liberties. Jurors in various trials related to alcohol-related offenses often refused to convict individuals charged with violating prohibition laws, signaling their disagreement with the government's attempt to regulate personal choices. These historical examples underscore the potential of juror nullification to challenge unjust laws and influence the justice system. By allowing jurors to consider not only the facts of a case but also the fairness and validity of the law itself, this concept serves as a powerful tool for individuals to exercise their conscience and shape the course of justice. It provides an avenue for citizens to voice their dissent, challenge oppressive laws, and advocate for a more equitable society. The benefits and drawbacks of jury nullification. Jury nullification is a concept that has been both praised and criticized within the legal system. As with any controversial topic, it is important to weigh the benefits and drawbacks before forming an opinion. One of the key benefits of jury nullification is the empowerment it gives to individual jurors. It allows them to exercise their conscience and judgment in cases where they believe the law itself is unjust or being misapplied. This power can be seen as a safeguard against potential tyranny or overreach by the government. Jurors have the ability to deliver a verdict based on their own interpretation of the facts and the law, rather than strictly following the instructions given by the judge. Another benefit of jury nullification is its potential to bring attention to flawed or outdated laws. By refusing to convict individuals who are charged with nonviolent offenses that carry disproportionately harsh penalties, jurors can send a message to lawmakers and law enforcement agencies. This can lead to a reevaluation of laws and policies that may no longer align with societal values or priorities. However, there are also drawbacks to consider when discussing jury nullification. One of the main concerns is the potential for abuse or inconsistency in its application. Because jury nullification relies on jurors' personal beliefs and interpretations, there is a risk that it could be used to undermine the rule of law. If jurors routinely ignore valid laws, it could lead to a breakdown in the justice system and create an environment of uncertainty and unpredictability. Additionally, jury nullification may disproportionately benefit those who have the means to argue their case and sway the opinions of the jurors. Individuals with access to resources and persuasive arguments may be more likely to convince a jury to nullify a law, while those without such advantages may be left without the same opportunities for justice. In conclusion, jury nullification is a complex and contentious issue within the justice system. While it can empower individuals and shine a light on flawed laws, it also raises concerns about consistency and the potential for abuse. Understanding the benefits and drawbacks of jury nullification is essential for engaging in informed discussions about its role in our legal system. Arguments for and against the use of jury nullification. Arguments for and against the use of jury nullification have been a topic of debate in the legal and justice system for many years. Supporters of jury nullification argue that it is a vital tool to empower individuals and serve as a check on unjust laws or prosecutions. They believe that jurors should have the power to deliver a verdict based on their conscience, even if it goes against the letter of the law. One of the main arguments in favor of jury nullification is that it allows ordinary citizens to stand up against unjust laws or prosecutions. It gives jurors the ability to consider the morality and fairness of a case, rather than just blindly following the law. Advocates argue that this is a crucial aspect of a democratic society, as it prevents the government from becoming too powerful and allows for the protection of individual rights. Furthermore, proponents argue that jury nullification can be a force for positive change. By refusing to convict individuals for nonviolent offenses, such as drug possession, jurors can send a message to lawmakers and law enforcement agencies that they disagree with the current laws and believe they should be reformed. This can lead to a shift in public opinion and ultimately result in changes to legislation. However, opponents of jury nullification argue that it undermines the rule of law and the principle of equal justice under the law. They contend that the purpose of a jury is to determine guilt or innocence based on the evidence presented and the applicable laws, not to act as lawmakers themselves. They argue that nullification can lead to inconsistent and arbitrary outcomes, as jurors may disregard the law based on personal biases or emotions. Another concern raised by critics is that jury nullification can be used to perpetuate injustice. They argue that it can be employed to support discriminatory practices or protect individuals who have committed heinous crimes. This raises questions about the fairness and impartiality of the justice system, as the outcomes of trials can be influenced by factors unrelated to the evidence or the law. In conclusion, the use of jury nullification is a complex and controversial issue in the justice system. While proponents argue that it empowers individuals and can lead to positive change, opponents raise concerns about its impact on the rule of law and the potential for injustice. Ultimately, the debate surrounding jury nullification continues to shape the way we understand and navigate the criminal justice system. The importance of educating jurors about their power to nullify unjust laws. Juror nullification is a powerful tool that empowers the individual in the justice system. It refers to the ability of jurors to reject or nullify a law they deem unjust, even if the evidence presented in the case meets the legal standards for conviction. This concept serves as a fundamental check on potential government abuse and provides a way for ordinary citizens to influence the legal system. Educating jurors about their power to nullify unjust laws is of utmost importance. Many jurors are not aware of this power, as it is often not discussed or mentioned during the jury selection process. By informing jurors about this crucial aspect of their role, we can ensure that they are equipped with the knowledge necessary to make informed decisions. When jurors understand their power to nullify, they can play an active role in upholding justice and protecting individual rights. They can carefully assess the law at hand and consider its implications on the defendant, society, and the overall principles of justice. If they believe that a law is inherently unjust or that its application would result in an unfair outcome, they have the power to acquit the defendant, regardless of the evidence presented. This power of juror nullification acts as a safeguard against potential government overreach and allows for a more balanced and equitable justice system. It ensures that the voices of everyday citizens are heard and respected within the courtroom. By educating jurors about this power, we can encourage them to critically evaluate the laws they are asked to enforce and act as a check on potential injustices. In conclusion, educating jurors about their power to nullify unjust laws is essential for a fair and just legal system. By empowering jurors with this knowledge, we enable them to make informed decisions that align with their conscience and uphold the principles of justice. Juror nullification serves as a vital tool in ensuring that the rights and liberties of individuals are protected within the justice system. How to exercise the power of jury nullification responsibly. Exercising the power of jury nullification is a weighty responsibility that should be approached with caution and thoughtfulness. While it can be a powerful tool to challenge unjust laws or protect individual rights, it is important to exercise this power responsibly and within the boundaries of the legal system. First and foremost, it is crucial to understand the concept of jury nullification thoroughly. Educate yourself about the legal principles, historical precedents, and case law related to this practice. Familiarize yourself with the specific laws and statutes involved in the case you are serving as a juror for, as well as any relevant legal instructions provided by the judge. Responsible exercise of jury nullification requires careful consideration of the facts and evidence presented during the trial. Evaluate whether the law itself is unjust or if its application in the specific case would lead to an unjust outcome. Consider the potential consequences of your nullification decision on the defendant, the victim, and society as a whole. Engage in open and respectful discussions with your fellow jurors. Share your thoughts, concerns, and perspectives, but also listen carefully to the viewpoints of others. Constructive dialogue can help you collectively assess the merits and implications of nullifying a law in a specific case. It is important to remember that jury nullification should not be used as a means to undermine the legal system or to promote personal biases or prejudices. Exercising this power responsibly means acting in accordance with the principles of fairness, justice, and the preservation of individual rights. Finally, if you choose to exercise the power of jury nullification, be prepared to accept any consequences that may arise. While jurors are generally protected from legal repercussions for their decisions, public opinion and criticism may follow. Stand firm in your convictions, but be prepared to engage in discussions and debates to articulate your reasoning and promote a better understanding of the power of jury nullification. In summary, exercising the power of jury nullification is a significant responsibility that should be approached with careful consideration, respect for the law, and a commitment to fairness and justice. When used responsibly, jury nullification can be a powerful tool to empower the individual and challenge unjust laws within the framework of the justice system. The potential implications and challenges of implementing jury nullification. Implementing jury nullification in the justice system comes with potential implications and challenges that cannot be ignored. While jury nullification can be seen as a tool to empower individuals and ensure justice, it also raises concerns about the integrity and consistency of the legal system. One of the main implications is the potential for inconsistent verdicts. If jurors are allowed to nullify laws based on their personal beliefs or biases, it can lead to unpredictable outcomes in criminal cases. This raises questions about the fairness and equality of the justice system, as different juries may reach different conclusions for similar cases. Furthermore, allowing jury nullification might undermine the authority of judges and the rule of law. Judges are responsible for interpreting and applying the law impartially, while jury nullification allows jurors to disregard the law altogether. This can create confusion and erode public trust in the legal system. Another challenge is ensuring that jury nullification is used responsibly and judiciously. Jurors may nullify laws for reasons that are not in the best interest of justice, such as personal biases or prejudices. This can potentially lead to unjust outcomes and hinder the progress of a fair and impartial justice system. Moreover, implementing jury nullification requires careful consideration of how it would impact the overall legal framework. It raises questions about the role of juries, the authority of judges, and the balance between individual rights and societal interests. Finding a balance between individual empowerment and maintaining the integrity of the justice system is a complex task that requires thorough examination. In conclusion, while jury nullification has the potential to empower individuals within the justice system, it also presents significant implications and challenges. Striking a balance between individual empowerment and maintaining the integrity of the legal system requires careful deliberation and consideration of the potential consequences. Court cases that have been influenced by jury nullification. The power of jurors to acquit a defendant even if the evidence proves their guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, has a long and fascinating history within the justice system. Over the years, there have been several court cases where jury nullification played a significant role, leading to outcomes that challenged the conventional norms of the legal system. One notable example is the case of John Peter Zenger in 1735. Zenger, a newspaper publisher, was charged with seditious libel for criticizing the British government. Despite the overwhelming evidence against him, the jury chose to acquit him, asserting their right to judge the law as well as the facts. This landmark case set a precedent for the protection of free speech and the role of juries in safeguarding individual liberties. Another prominent case influenced by jury nullification is that of Edward Bushell in 1670. Bushell, a juror, was charged with contempt of court after refusing to convict Quakers for unlawful assembly, despite clear violations of the law. The court initially imprisoned Bushell for his defiance but was eventually forced to release him due to public outrage. This case marked a significant turning point in recognizing the power of jurors to exercise their conscience when delivering a verdict. In more recent times, the case of United States v. Doherty in 1972 showcased the power of jury nullification in a politically charged trial. The defendants were accused of anti-war activities during the Vietnam War. The jury, sympathetic to their cause, refused to convict them, highlighting the potential of jury nullification to challenge the broader social and political climate. These cases, among others, demonstrate the impact and importance of jury nullification in the justice system. They illustrate how juries can serve as a check on unjust laws or unjust application of laws, empowering individuals to shape the outcomes of trials based on their own sense of justice and morality. While controversial and not without criticism, jury nullification stands as a reminder of the power of ordinary citizens to influence and shape the course of justice. Conclusion and call to action for individuals to be informed and empowered as jurors. In conclusion, jury nullification is a powerful tool that allows individuals to make a difference in the justice system. By being informed about their rights and the concept of nullification, jurors can exercise their power to challenge unjust laws, unfair prosecutions, or overly harsh sentences. As citizens, we have a responsibility to ensure that the justice system operates fairly and justly. By serving as informed and empowered jurors, we can actively participate in shaping the outcomes of trials and influencing the direction of our legal system. Therefore, I encourage each and every one of you to educate yourselves about jury nullification. Take the time to understand the principles behind it, the historical context, and the potential impact it can have. Arm yourselves with knowledge and be prepared to exercise your right to nullify when necessary. Furthermore, spread the word. Share this information with your family, friends, and colleagues. Start conversations about juror nullification and its significance. The more individuals are aware of this powerful tool, the greater the impact we can collectively make in creating a fairer and more just system. Remember, the power of the jury lies in its ability to protect and serve justice, not just blindly follow the instructions of the court. Be informed, be empowered, and be an active participant in shaping the justice system for the better. Together, let's make a difference and ensure that the principles of fairness, justice, and individual empowerment are upheld within our legal system through the practice of juror nullification. We hope you found our lesson on juror nullification thought-provoking and informative. The concept of juror nullification gives power back to the individual within the justice system and allows for a more nuanced understanding of justice. By understanding the history and implications of this practice, we can foster a more informed and engaged citizenry. Remember, knowledge is power, and we encourage you to explore further and engage in conversations about this important topic. Let's strive for a justice system that truly reflects the values and needs of the community it serves.